Hello everyone, welcome to the review session for lesson number 3 for data track nanodegree program. I bet I think it's Bertelsmann. So whoever is here, welcome, and we should be starting soon with our questions. I'm actually also monitoring our Slack to see if anything comes over there and we can direct people here then. Well, until then, just come say hi in the chat and put your questions there. If you have any, or if you want to review a particular topic in any of the lessons, starting from lesson 3 at least, since that would be priority, and then we can take questions from other lessons if need be. So, yeah, come say hi and tell us about why you're doing this course and what are your struggles that we can help you with. So, yeah, go ahead and chat away. And for those who are not part of the program, if they don't understand the title, then you can just stay with us, hang with us. We will be discussing some business analysis, Excel, data analysis, and all that kind of school stuff. So I know Medic, you are here. Hi. Welcome to the stream. I had to make it public to have the chat and everything going. But yeah, you can stay with us if you like. Well, Medic is actually for the viewers who don't know. I do a regular live stream. I'm a study streamer. So Medic is our moderator, and she is one of the most regular people on our streams. And her mom is not doing too well. So everyone, please send her some prayers. Hi, Isabella. How are you? I'm glad you could join. No, Dark Mirror, you can actually see it. It will be on. I will not be deleting it. I even kept the previous session on, although there was nothing in it. But that I might remove. But this one, I don't see the need to remove this. This should be up. So yeah, people ask away with your questions. Starting from lesson 3 at least, because that's like our priority. Not a problem, Medic, anytime. And also student advocates for lesson 3. We've prepared like a quiz, kind of sort of a game that we play on our live streams anyway. So we use this platform called Kahoot, where we make our own quizzes. So we've actually made a very simple quiz based just on lesson 3 for now, that we will be playing. It will be like a timed quiz, and it's like it has like a leaderboard and everything. So yeah, we could do that once we do a broad based review and see what issues people are having. Yeah, sure, Dark Mirror. You can watch the stream later on too. But if you have a particular question, you may want to leave it here so that we can address it, and then you can go back and look at it once you get a chance. But do put your questions or your struggles over here, so just that we know what we should be addressing. So Isabella, looks like you're here from the course, so why don't you go ahead and start asking me anything specific to lesson 3? If not, then I can start from the beginning and just kind of summarize so that we don't waste any more time. I'll put the timer for 30 minutes max to go through the stuff so that we don't waste too much time, and then we'll head into the quiz depending on how many people we have. Thank you, Medic. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Okay, so Isabella, hold on your doubts from lesson 4 then. Once we quickly go through lesson 3, so that we just jump on things, and if there is something from that that jumps out to you, you can let us know so we can stop and expand on those. Because lesson 3 is fairly very basic. So I'll just go through it. I'll just open the coursework and I'll just basically go through different functions or whatever was in that lesson. Okay, yeah, that's good. As long as you know how to solve them, I mean, what's better than that? So let me put down the timer for our review. Hopefully, we'll be done way before that, but then just so that we have um, some sort of time limit for ourselves, we should be having that. Okay, so let's start reviewing stuff. And if there's something that I'm missing on Slack that you guys can see, feel free to put it in the chat here, since I'll be watching the chat way more closely than Slack. Okay, heading into the course. Then number 3. Okay, the course, so you guys must have done descriptive statistics, which would have mean, median, mode, and all that kind of central limit theorem and everything. So this is where we start with our Excel stuff, in which we start. So the first quiz is about spreadsheets. The only problem is that spreadsheets are not very conducive for large data sets. That's why you have databases and database management systems at the back end, because Excel has a limit of X amount of rows, I think 10,000 or something like that. But even beyond 5,000 rows of data, Excel kind of hangs. So Excel is not the best tool to handle excessive amount of data. It has its limitations. But other than that, it's really easy to manipulate data, of course, to analyze data, to visualize data. And yes, it loads quickly, but only a small amount. A lot of data scientists, what they also do is they load some lines of data from a very big data sets just to visualize it better. I actually learned Excel before data science, anything in data science. So I felt comfortable looking at it visually in a table form in Excel and maybe, manipulate it a little bit, which is easier than doing it in code. At least I feel that way. Okay, moving on. I'm sure you guys will be able to navigate now that you guys have progressed more into the course. And then we have some menu bar discussion. I'm going to skip that. And yes, now we are at data menu operations. I'm actually going through the course one by one and seeing what they were teaching us. So there's a sort function, there's a filter function, there's a text to column function. All they can all be found in the data tab. If you have specific questions about sort, filter, or text to columns, please let me know. I could expand on that a little more. Or if you have a specific pain point in some of those, let me know. And yes, Excel data is fillable in all directions, up, down, left, right. So if you have like a formula, you can stretch it on the left, on the right, top, bottom, everything. It's pretty neat. You can actually load data directly from the internet as well. it has a lot of plugins and everything. And we were supposed to do one of those exercises where we had to get share price data from outside. Then we have ranges. That's all basic. Range is basically, in Excel, ranges start from in alphabetical orders and from top to bottom. So even if you select bottom up, the range will be from A onwards, and will be starting from wherever the location of the top of that selected portion is. So you'll never find a range which goes from C to A. It would always go from A to C, and it will never go from A5 to A1. It will always go from A1 to A5. That's how you read it. I mean, that's how it will always be. Relative address and absolute address is basically you fix, you must have seen dollar signs at so many places in the formula. What the dollar sign does is, so there's a column and there's a row. So how Excel does it is, first it gives you the column alphabet and then the row number. A dollar sign next to the before the alphabet fixes the column, and the dollar sign before the row number fixes the row. So if you were to move that in any formula up and down, that particular address would stick together. So if you have $2 signs, that cell gets locked because the column and the rows both get locked. Let me just open chat quickly and see if we have any concerns. Okay, no concerns related to what we're doing. No medic, I have not completed my 66 days of data. Today is my, I think, 54th day, so I'm pretty near. For those of who you don't know, I am actually doing 66 days of data challenge, where you do 66 days of consistent data science learning. So I'm on my 54th day. It is popularized by Kenji, a fellow YouTuber. You can check him out. I'll put the link to his I'll put the link to his YouTube in the description later on. And then, hi Patrick. Average contract time. You might want to identify what lesson that is, and then we can take it in that order. Okay. Valid addresses, we spoke a little bit about that. Inserting columns and rows, you can insert full columns, full rows, you can insert cells left and right, top and bottom. Those can all be done via your mouse, or there are keyboard shortcuts. Then we had exercises on removing duplicate rows and then adding and doing those basic arithmetics. Saving the data. Excel comes in a lot of different formats. Excel workbook is XLSX, CSV, XLS. The difference between them is the kind of data that is held in them. XLS would be a basic Excel. It says Excel 2003, but if you had any macros in your workbook, then that would be an XLSX workbook. If you were to have any macros and if you were to save it as an .xls workbook, your macros would be taken off from there. CSV is the comma delimited file, which is the data is separated with commas. So CSV, comma separated. What was the V? Sorry, I'm forgetting. Comma separated. It'll come back to me. I'll get back to you on that. Okay, next up. So that was kind of end of this lesson. We have a quiz on which is similar. It's similar to the quizzes in the coursework. If you guys want, we can go ahead and take the quiz pretty quickly and then move on to maybe if you have questions for lesson 4, which I believe, Isabella, you do have. We can actually do the quiz later too if we have more people coming in. I'm not sure, what time works because it's like a global thing. So, how about we start taking questions in the order of what lesson they're from? If you have something from lesson 3, go ahead. If you have something from lesson 4, then this would be the time. Let me check Slack if there's anything over there. Nothing that I can see here. Going back to the chat. Isabella, if you're there, go ahead and ask your question because we're kind of done with lesson 3. It was very basic. So yeah, go ask away your question from lesson number 4. And anybody else, feel free to ask your questions. Just make sure you tell me exactly what lesson it is from so I can actually go locate it. Okay, sure. Put your question in the chat. The formula of mid. Okay, let me get to the formula mid in lesson number 4. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm there at where the course talks about it. So what about it don't you understand? Like how, what is it that bothers you and you're not comfortable, or what is it that you're tripping on? So basically, just let me just give you a background of what mid does. So if you don't know any function in Excel, all you have to do is write its name, and the Excel itself will give you the arguments that it takes, what it needs to, what kind of data it will need to, go through the function. So for mid, it says text, start num, and num characters. So mid says text. Text would be the actual location of the text that you're trying to parse through. Start num would be the starting number of the characters that you want to start with. So for example, in Isabella, you want to start with an S and go forward. So you will say mid, you'll select where Isabella is, the cell which has Isabella in it, and then say start num would be 2 because S is at 2. So you want to start with an S and go how many characters forward. So if you go 4 characters forward, that would get you to A, B, E, L, right? So if you do mid on Isabella, starting from 2, which would be your S, you will reach, and you go 4 letters forward, 4 characters forward, you'll reach L of Isabella. That would be the result. So the text is the text string containing the characters you want to extract. Start num is the position of the first character you want to extract in the text, and the number of characters you want mid to return from the text. So you will get SABE. Sorry, you'll get SABE, not L. Sorry, my fault. So mid Isabella, 2 and 4. Let me actually share my screen and show you what I'm trying to say. Wait, I don't want to confuse you at all. So we have our okay. So I write Isabella here. This is the text I want to parse through. So I go here and I do mid is the function. So as you write mid, you see Excel starts giving you what arguments it needs to go in the function. So it says the text you want to parse through. So we link it to this cell where the text is that you want to extract stuff from, comma, then start num. I want to extract S to E, SABE. So I will start at number 2. That would start at S, which is I is first, S is second. Then I will go, how many number of characters do I want to keep going? So I want to extract 4 letters of your word, of your name, starting at S. So I'll go for 4. This should give me SABE. So I should know how much, like, I can tell what I want to extract from each name. Like, for example, if you wanted to extract the first 3 letters of anyone's name, or if you want initials of someone's name, so you can actually go and search for, whatever, how many ever characters you want. I hope that makes sense. Is there any particular problem that you're having with the mid function? Because if you understand what mid does and what arguments it takes, it gets easier to apply. Like, for example, the exercise they had for us, the extract text, that is a convoluted long formula, but the way you would do that is, let me open it for you. Let me see if you can see my screen here. Okay, no, you can only see this. So what I'll do is I'll copy paste this in the screen, you can see. Okay, so this is what they have. Okay, this is what they had, right? So let's see what they asked you to do. They want position of the first letter of data. So you have to find data in here. Position of first letter of data. So ironically, the economic data till here, till the first D, you need how many characters were there up till then. So for that, what will you do? You will use find and mid. Now let's look at find function. Find, it says find text. What do you want to find? We want to find data, right? We want to find D in data, so we'll find data. Within which text? I want to find it in this text. Starting number would be 0 because I want to start from the beginning. Find text data. In row 6. Oh wait, row 6. I actually merged the rows. Wait, what did I do? Row 6, they don't want the first one. Okay, so row 6, it will be a different row for us. This is not what they want. So over here, so this is, what are you looking for? Find text data. I'll just do it for all the values, for all the rows. And what do I want to find within what? I want to find within here. So 26th spot is the first spot where D data comes in. So if you count all these characters, it would be the 26th spot. So pulling it all down. So this is all we get. Okay, so this checks out. Now we need position of the letter, first letter of the word after data. So after data, we know data is four characters big, right? And we want the location of the word after that. So we know there's a space. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, I want to find, what do I want to find? I want to find position of the next word. So I would do mid here because I don't know what the word would be. I don't know what the word exactly would look like. Like in find, I have to tell it exactly what I'm looking for. But in mid, I tell them the position I want. So now I know the position because data is at 26. So the text that I have to search it in is this. Then the starting number is, for me, 26 plus 4, which is the data, DATA, and then plus 1 for the space after that. So this will be, I'll just put it in brackets, and so T is basically, I said I just want one character. Actually, I didn't even have to do this because I knew that position of data is 26. I want 26 plus 4. So basically this is all I needed. 26 plus 4 plus 1 is the position of the next word in that position. So if this is 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31st is the T. That's where we get the T from. So this is correct. Then we need the position of the space after the target word. So now our target word is data, and we know that data is 4 characters long. So the position of space after the target word would be the position of the target word plus 4. That would be space 30th. Length of the target word. Length of the target word, we know length of the target word, what it is, but how we can find it is the word after the target word minus length of the target word, the start of the target word, minus 1 for space is 4. Sorry, I had it in wrong cell. So position of the target word, what was that? Length of the target word. We know the length is 4, but if you did not know, but you didn't know these positions, you can actually calculate that. But for now, I'll just write 4, or you can calculate it by subtracting the position of the next word, starting of the next word, minus starting of the target word, minus the space in between. Target word is data basically, but if you were to use formulas to say, that would be minus target word is equal to, now this is what mid does. Mid will tell you what the target word is if you have the positions. Mid says what text am I looking for, what text am I looking in, and then start number is the position of the start of our target word, and how many characters is the length of the target word. So this will actually get you data. So this is what mid is used for. Let me see in the chat if you have anything to say. Data is the target word. Data is the target word. Oh, actually, sorry, the target word is this. This is the target word. Sorry, my bad. So position of data, position of the word. Oh, sorry, it says target word here. My mistake. Position of the word after that's the target word. Position of the space after the target word. Okay, I messed up here. Sorry about that. Is equals to mid. I want to find what text, from which text I want to start. No, I want to find, what do I want to find? I want to find a space. Find a space within this text, starting from the position of my target word after 31st. So 35 is where the first space will be. So if this starts at 35, 31, 35 will be where the next space is. So the length of the target word would be position of the space minus position of the starting of the target word. Length is 4. And target word is mid. This starting position of the target word, and number of characters is the length. This is the target word. Let me know if that makes sense. Sorry for the earlier thing. Yes, you're correct. Data is not a target word. Target word is this. So what we do is we first find the position of letter of data by doing a find on data, word data, to get the start of that letter. Then we go position of the first letter of the word after data. So how we do that is we knew that the word data is 4 lengths and then 1 space, and then position of space after the target word. So we do a find here where we look for space. starting from where the first letter of the target word starts. So anytime after that. Length of the target word, how do we know that? Now we know that target word starts at 31st and the next space is at 35. So we subtract that and get the length of the word to be 4. And how do we get the target word? We use mid by using these locations to by the length of this, the length of the target word and the starting position to extract what exactly the word is. And now nested combined is basically you just have to take all of this and put it in one formula, which becomes that convoluted formula. But if you want, what you can do is, what I did was, this is what we want to get at, right? So I copied this as it is, because this is exactly what we're looking for. Now, what I did was at F8, I replaced this with the formula in here. So the formula of getting 4 is E8 minus D8. So I went in here and all I did was replace this F8 with this, because it will be the same thing. And so on, I kept replacing until I had no C, D's or E's. It all related back to my text in column B. So for example, now I have E's and D's and B's. So my next target would be to get rid of an E. So I come to E, take its formula, whatever gives me E, and put it in here. So instead of E, I'll paste it over here like this. So we're still at that point, but now we don't have any E's. So now we only have B's and D's. So we replace B, D, and then eventually we just should have B. So replacing D, D is this. So I replace all the D's like this. And now all I have is B's and C's. So now I go back and replace the C as well. So I just replace this C. Wherever I see C, I just replace it with that whole formula. One more. So my formula only has B. Wait, I messed up somewhere, sorry. Till here we were fine. Yeah. Control Y. Control Z. I might not have put parentheses. So let me do it again. D is C plus 4 plus 1. And over here, D is this. And over here, replace this. Okay. Now I have C's. So now I go back, copy this whole thing, and come back here and put C's in parentheses first so I don't mess up the parentheses. Paste this in here. Do the same with all the other C's that you can see on the screen. And this formula can definitely be optimized for sure, but for now this would work for us. Let me know if that makes sense to you on how I did it. If you understand all these B to G, then H is just the nesting of all these formulas, just so that the formula should only link back to this text in B and none of the columns. These columns are basically, steps of getting to the actual nested formula. I'll put the timer for another 30 minutes. Let me know, Isabella, if that kind of solves the problem you were heading into. Let me check Slack for any other messages. Yeah, so nested only means you just replace everything in a way that everything should relate back to the text that you're trying to extract and nothing else. So one formula. So if you were to not have any of these columns, so just to check, if you delete these columns, this formula would still remain. You know, it's standing on its own. It's not helped by any of these columns because it directly only links to this. But to get to that point, to simplify, we broke the whole problem into smaller chunks at every step, and then we just combined all those formulas together. You're welcome. I'm glad you are comfortable, more comfortable than you were with it earlier. If there is any other question, feel free to put it in the chat. Even in financial modeling, when we do these forecasting, we do step-by-step breakdown of these things in different columns or different rows to simplify it, and then we don't always merge it. Like this is a little bit, there's a hint of this in lesson 8, I believe, the last lesson, where they do the forecasting, where we break things down. Especially if you have done lesson 8, then this is something you would see this concept in ramping up of the salespeople, where you want to go from X to Y, but in between there are phases. So you solve for little things and then you combine in the end. Sometimes you let the formula be, or sometimes you can merge the formulas and it will give you the same answer. But this formula, the nested formula, is not really readable. So in real practical world, what people want is something that if you look at this is convoluted at so many levels. So what you would be encouraged in the workplace is to not do this and do different columns so people know what steps you're taking. Because if there's a mistake in here, it's really hard to find. Like when I did a mistake, I knew there was a mistake because my answer was not correct. But I knew if I started finding that mistake, it would be very difficult. So I actually just made sure I put parentheses and go about it, because these kind of formulas are very non-readable by the human eye. I don't have any more questions so far. Isabella, if I may ask, how many lessons are you done with? Okay. So you're done with 4 sessions. I mean, 4 lessons. That's good because lessons 7 and 8 are extensive because they have a lot of material in them. Earlier lessons are way smaller, but let me know if you have issues in any of the other lessons. I'd be glad to help. We had more questions about the sales funnels, but that's like what, lesson number 5. I think you might not have reached there. Mm-hmm. That's actually lesson number 7, the sales funnel question. And the person who asked that question on Slack is not here, so I don't want to confuse anybody here. But hey, as long as we don't have any more questions, we can continue to study on our own on whatever we were doing silently if you want. I'll keep an eye on the chat, so if there are any other questions, I'll take them as we go. Otherwise, I'll just continue to do whatever other stuff that I was working on. Yeah, you can Slack me anytime. And actually, you can join us, our streams as well, the regular streams. You can catch me there as well. Now you know where my streams are, you can actually come catch me there. So I'll just go ahead and mute myself until I get any more questions. Until then, I'll just continue to work on my own studies. Good luck to whoever all are studying with us. Bye, take care. Thank you for joining. Come study with us sometime. If you have time, if our timings match, come study with us generally or work with us. It'll be good to have you around. Good luck. Hello, hello, welcome back. Whoever is studying with us, time for a break. So, this is the end of the review session. I'm gonna keep this video up for those who would want to circle back to it for the problem we solved today. That was from lesson number 4. It had to do with the mid function and the find function. So yeah, that's about it. I had the Kahoot quiz in the chat, but looks like we don't have enough people to play. But that's okay. Hey medic. I'm actually gonna take off now because I've already been streaming for more than I think 10-12 hours. We had about 8 sessions of our regular stream. This was another hour, so oh well. Good luck to who are still studying. How many people are in the room actually? Let me see. Quite a few people. Well, people, take a break, take a walk, stretch out, hydrate. I need to also go get out. I've been sitting on this chair for way too long for today. But yeah, good luck with whatever you guys are doing. Yes, medic, I think you should also rest. What time is it? Must be middle of the morning over there. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone. Whoever was studying with us, thank you for tuning in, supporting us, supporting the channel, coming to learn something new. So with that, this brings us to the end of our stream. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you got done what you intended to and some more. Stay healthy, happy, hydrated, and productive. Take care. Yes, it's 3:21 a.m. for medic. Go to sleep, woman. Take care, everyone, and I will have my regular stream tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. So take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until next time. Bye.